Hi there. We're back with the Chevelle and we've got updates. For starters, we got an engine stand and we got an engine on the stand. You're hanging off the cherry picker, so come on in here, take a look. I'll show you where I've kind of gotten. I haven't done much. Want to make sure not to do a whole lot, but I did crack this loose so we can take a look at the bottom end to change out the rear main. So come on over here, take a look. It's interesting and dangerous. Okay, so I've got all the oil pan bolts taken out. I got the gasket separated so it's loose and floppy. I'm not gonna be able to take it off one-handed while recording. So let me get this off real quick and we'll take a look at the bottom end and kind of look at what this engine's gone through over its life. Taking a look at the pan, you can definitely see some little grit and stuff in there. I don't even know what that is. Is it a chunk of metal? Yeah, kind of feels like it. But there's little chunks of stuff. I mean, it's not terrible. You got a little bit of sludgy whatnot, so it may not be a super low mile engine, but it doesn't seem to be too terribly bad. If we come up here and take a look at the actual bottom end, I don't know. It's got some dark stuff going on, whatever that is. If the camera would focus, you could see a little better. Almost like rust, sort of. So I think at one point in its life, it's definitely had a little bit of water in here, but it's not terrible. Everything looks okay. I mean, not great, not horrible. Good enough to work with, though, that's for sure. Everything looks pretty all right. But here's the culprit of buying the engine stand and doing all this. I've got to get this gasket all freed and then get the rear main apart. I've got a new one from Pro here. So I got to get that out so I can put the new one in. So let me get you set up real quick. We'll just do a quick time lapse. This isn't that big a deal, I don't think. I've never done this, but it doesn't look like that big a deal from the videos I watched. So watch me struggle. Okay, so we've got the cap for the rear main off, and I thought I'd just do a little bit of inspection. You can see some copper showing on there for sure. And a good bit of copper. So that might be a lot of our issue. You can see some grooving in there. This cap might just be shot, to be honest. I don't even know what would make those cuts in there. But yeah, you can see that rubber. It's not in super great shape. It feels rough. Catch my nail? No, it's not catching my fingernail, but it's definitely seen some extended wear. Maybe there. I don't know if I can get you in on that, but I can feel that catching my nail. You can see it just right there. No, not anywhere else though. Not real bad. But super worn. So I might have to look at swapping this bearing, I guess. Just have to see. I must refer to the elders on this. But I mean, it's not going totally back together right now either anyway, so that's all right. I don't even have an oil pan gasket, so I'm just going to have to halfway kind of bolt it back together temporarily until I can get one on it. But just thought you guys would get a kick out of that. I'm going to finish doing the rear main seal replacement right quick, get you guys back up on the time lapse, and then we will address this further. Okay, got you out here with a little bit more light. You can see a lot of that copper showing. I don't know. I feel like these gouges aren't supposed to be in here. That could be like an oil passage. I don't know anything, so I'm going to refer to the elders on this. I don't know if it's worth just going ahead and replacing the oil pump as well while I got it out. I mean, it might be in great shape. I don't really know. But, I mean, while you got it apart, isn't it just worth replacing stuff like that? You can see on there, all that copper showing. Not great. Probably gonna end up having to swap that, or do we swap that? You know what I mean? Yeah, you can see a lot more of that grit and stuff. I'm gonna blast all these with some brake cleaner, get them all cleaned up. Probably not the oil pump. I don't really care so much about that, but like this cap here, the pan itself, try to get all this blown out really quick. So let me do that. Try to clean up any gasket and whatnots on this. Really, it all kind of seemed to stay on the other side. I think it was a rubber gasket with a little bit of RTV under it. Is how it looked when I was pulling it apart. I didn't even find the bottom half of the rear main that goes in here, by the way. So maybe it just come apart whenever I took it out. But I didn't see it on the ground or anything either. And I pressed out the other guy. So I don't really know where that is, to be honest with you. Might have been our problem all along. Maybe a guy had a couple too many of them and forgot to do the bottom half, or maybe it fell off before they put the cap on or something. So I don't know. So whatever the cause is, it still had oil in it. It's probably just when it was up to temp, but I'm going to clean all that up, clean this surface all up, get me a new gasket to replace that with, and throw it all back together, I suppose. Let me get down the bottom there. Let's get all this hosed out. There's a bunch of gunk in there. Look at all that. My goodness. All right, while we're waiting to hear back, I reckon I can just go on ahead and put this back in there. Should go in something like this. I should probably clean that up a little bit. Maybe I'll clean that up some. Let's do that. Here, I'm just scrubbing down a little. Pretty gummy, pretty gross. I don't know if any of that's even coming off my hands or anything. I don't know how clean it's supposed to be either. I figured it'd be clean as the rest of it, you know? I figure. It's not doing a ton. But I also feel like it's not a good idea to put a wire wheel on this. It's got a groove in it there. I'm gonna pretend we didn't see any of that. We're just gonna put the other one in. You know what I mean? Smart, right? All right. I believe it'll go in something like that, I suppose. I just gotta, oh, yeah, push him in. Oh, that doesn't look good. Oh, shoot. I don't want to take material off, right? That doesn't make sense. Let's get my rear main extraction tool. Huh. What is that all about? Well, it's not going to gasket very well if it's losing chunks of the gasket. Let me ponder. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm going on backwards. I was just heating that up. That's the way it come out, though. Know what I mean? Am I out of line while I'm pushing it, maybe? I don't know. I don't like that very much. But I'm just going to keep going and pretend like I didn't see any of that. You know what I mean? Get in there, buddy. You might lose a little blue, but it's good enough. Okay, well, that part's in there. That's good. That's great. That's grand. All right, let me see what to do about that cap. And then we might just fix it and throw it all back together, but we'll see. Waiting on a verdict on that. Sent it over to a couple of guys, see what they think. But we're going to go over some of the parts that we got. Just real overview. Basically, we got a TKX in this box. We've got a bunch of supporting parts for that. Bell housing, triple pedal. We got a new rad. We got a new fuel tank. I don't remember what those super long boxes are. I ordered a whole bunch of stuff a while back for this, and it all got delivered, and I've just been kind of lumping it over here. But obviously, engine stand, seen that. We've also got a new windshield. Still trying to source some back glass, trying to get it on the cheap if I can. But yeah, we've got all kinds of brand spanking new parts for this old hot rod. What is this? Does this say? No, it just says it came from Taiwan. Made in America. That's what I meant. Definitely not buying the cheapest parts I could possibly find. But I bought things like rollers for this because this window comes out of the track over here. Falls out. You can see the cut for it right there. I just got to get that out. Slot a new one in. I'll probably have to take the whole window assembly stuff out. But, and then it'll just clamp onto the ball here on this, and then I'll be able to actually crank the windows. I locked myself in here. The door latch, for some reason, doesn't want to let go. Push the switch in all the way. How do I push the button? I don't know even where the release is in there, but it's tough. It's stout. I'm going to have to address that. You can see stuff moving in there, but I locked myself in, so I had to take the back window crank, put it on the door handle in here, and let myself out. I mean, this door opens great. This thing is, let me just show you. This thing's absolutely freaking cherry. Perfect. So it shuts pretty good. Boom. Push it one-handed. I mean, one-handed. Opens right up. So, and the window's in good shape over here. It cranks up and down. I just keep them down just to keep it kind of aired out. You can see the dang rats have kind of gotten into stuff again. I got none of them with my sticky trap. I think I got a few of them with poison, but there's just so many. There's piles all over the place. But you can see back here too, some of the new parts. I don't know if I've shown them in a video. I think I did, but I don't know. We've got some hooker headers. Got a really smoking deal on those. But the rats have made a house in the trunk. They have dumped all over the pallet table. They've dug into the seats and tore up everything. They even brought in the boxes with some of the poison I thought was gonna work. I don't know if you can even see in there. Let me get my light out. Hold on just a sec. Don't go nowhere. I mean, they're just everywhere in these seats and stuff. So these seats might end up being shot. We might have to do some upholstery work and all kinds of crap. Or we'll just pull all these guts out of these houses and just say, nah, it's fine. You don't need to sit in comfort anyways. But they have been cooped up in here for the winter. It's been a while since we've been out and worked on the Chevelle, so they've definitely made themselves at home. But we also have all these old parts, trim pieces and bezels and light covers and lights and all that to kind of make this look more like a functional vehicle whenever it actually is a functional vehicle. But yeah, we've got some parts. We're working. We got a lot to do, a whole lot to do. But it all starts here. I want to get this all squared away and decent. And then I want to work on getting it manual ready, triple pedal ready, firewall, Z-bar, all that jazz. I want to get all that stuff done, squared away, and ready to rock and roll. Throw this in, get the hole cut in the floor. I got a new cross member. That's one of them tall boxes. Get a bolt of the cross member, cut the hole in the floor, and then get it halfway functioning. If we can get the triple pedal set up to work, and you know, transmission doing transmission things and motor doing motor things, and get everything decently kind of wired up. I want to get the front clip on this car and just jam it out on the road and see what we can do. Got some parts delivered for the Chevelle. Been a few days. Need to get the truck fired up. Come on, baby. Well, truck's kind of gotten up to temp. It's got pretty good oil pressure. Now that it's up, I mean, it sounds way better. I mean, that's exhausting to hear it there. Smoky on the driver's side. Sweet, so I don't think it's a head gasket or anything. Maybe it's just that cold. Just needed oil turned around on it or something, but hopefully it's okay enough to go work on the Chevelle. Anyways, I'm gonna head over there. Had a little scare this morning. A little scare. It's a new day and we're back working on the Chevelle. Last time we found out that cap bearing and some of the other bearings and whatnot are no bueno. They're super worn, super smoked. So I've got some new parts here. Hopefully we don't break anything, but I'd like to get moving on a bunch of this stuff. We've got fuel tanks, we've got the rad. I need to go get all the front clip parts from where I got the car from. Transmission cross members, all kinds of stuff. And I just kind of want to get the feet moving on a bunch of this low-hanging fruit so that we can hopefully get a bunch of this junk inside of this junk and not break anything. Toodle on down the road. So come on over, come take a look at what I've got, see what we can break today. I mean, fix today. Come on. All right, so in this box we've got all those bearings and whatnots. Engine tech. I found it on eBay for a pretty good price. By that I mean really super cheap, cheap as I could find it. Let's see, what do we got here? Aluminum. Silicone. Okay, cool. Whatever. What do we got here? Cam bearing. And hopefully something else. Aluminum silicone. Whatever. All the crap needs to go in there. And then in this one, we've got a new oil pump, pickup, and intermediate shaft or tube or whatever it's called. Pickup, tube. Yeah. Intermediate shaft. So, new oil pump, new bearings. I do want to tear into it and see about this. I looked up some YouTube videos and you need a plastic gauge and all kinds of stuff. And I just kind of wonder if a guy really even needs any of that stuff. Or if we could just tear into it, take out the old, put in the new, and then verify everything looks right and works well. So that's probably the way I'm going to do it, to be completely honest. You know, we're pretty much certified GM techs at this point. So I'm going to get this oil pan off. And then we'll get tearing into this and see what we can find out. But hopefully it doesn't blow up in our faces. Literally, literally. Get this off. Haul it out and then get all these parts out of here. Old oil pump. See you later. Sayonara. From what I saw looking into it, it just made sense just to go ahead and buy a new oil pump. They're not super expensive. And, you know, that's a wear item for sure. Last thing I want is to have to tear back into this. So while we're in here, we might as well, you know, tidy up any loose ends we can. Get this cap off of here. Yeah, so we'll be replacing that for sure. I'm going to go ahead and take all of the caps off of the rods or whatever, the pistons. And then we'll inspect those as well. If those look okay, I'm okay with leaving those. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not going to hurt my feelings at all to leave those. So let me get all this junk out of the way. We'll take a couple of them off and then we'll just inspect and we'll see. Take it off. Oh, Jesus. That scared the heck out of me. Did that go or did that pop my ratchet? And all it went. Oh my goodness, that was a lot of force, guys. Come on. I want to shear these things off. Those are tight. My goodness, those are tight. Let's just take one off. We may not need to do all this. These might just look perfect. That's how it's going to be, right? It's going to look just great. I don't know if this matters. I figure all this stuff kind of matters, but if you could see that. It's very gummy and Yuck. Not what you do, but... Oh, yeah. Yeah. So we come out here in the light. You can see definitely worn. Well, I think these just have a groove in the center, don't they, anyways? Yeah. I don't think this has any, well, maybe a little. Catches my nail just ever so slightly right there. But definitely worn. Copper showing here, kind of like we saw on the main cap or whatever bearings. The crank looks really good. Not seeing any real gnarly grooves. Let me set this guy down right there. Don't move, buddy. Let's see if I can get in here with the fingernail. No, man. Nothing crazy. There was oil on it, so that's a good sign, right? So, judging by this, though, I'll probably just take the rest of them off, and then we'll get them out and we'll inspect them. I need to keep these orientated, how they came out, which I don't even really remember already. But, whatever. Something like that. Perfect. Perfect. All right, let me get the rest of these off. We'll get them lined up out there on the table in the light where you can see, and we'll see if any of them look any worse than the others. All right, so with all of them out, you can see this is the front of the block. Making our way back, we've got some pretty crazy wear on the rear three, and then definitely some wear on the front, but not nearly as bad. Just look at the color difference. I don't really know what that means. High mileage, I guess. Or did it get some heat? I'm not seeing, well, maybe in the rear here. It's kind of hard to tell to me, being as stunned as I am. Kind of hard to tell if that's like from heat or just lots of wear. And if it's wearing weird, does that mean the cams or cranks doing uneven-y, spinny things? I just don't really know. But I know they need to be replaced. I do know that. I don't know that they really look the same size, though. Frick, I don't know, dude. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. Why am I doing this? Aren't there guys who've been doing this their whole dang lives? Oh, yeah, no, that looks about right. Kinda. Yeah, sure. Why not? We'll call those right. Maybe if I go to change them, I'll just put those in there, and then if it's not right, we'll find out in a magnificently catastrophic way. So, let me figure. I'm gonna pull all this apart, get all these out, and we'll see about putting new ones on, because I really don't know. Okay, so I went through and put new bearings in. They're all oiled up. I took some of the oil we'll be putting in the car, and I juiced them up and then squeezed them in there. My complaint right now is that I'm not really too sure, because I'm not trying to, you know, tear this whole dang thing down. What about these? These are probably, you know, just as beat as the other ones, and they'll be worn weird compared to brand new ones. I can push these a little bit and like kind of roll them around some, but I can't like get them out. I don't have anything that can like, whoop. I saw some trick where a dude was able to put a screw in the oil passage or something and like crank on it. This one's not even on there right anyways, because where's the oil passage, right? Or does that matter? I don't know, I'm freaking stunned. Anywho's, yeah, I don't know what the deal is with those. Honestly, I have no idea. Maybe I just turn the motor over, I guess. Heck, I don't know. Whatever, either which way. We may just end up doing the bottom ones. That's probably stunned. You're probably thinking, what in the world are you talking about, dude? You're this far, just do it. But I'm freaking going through it right now, all right? I'm not full well confident in my abilities to do even what I've done, let alone this stuff. Maybe we'll be fine, you know? I'm thinking, though, I'd have to take the pistons out. Because you can't get the pistons out, at least easily, without taking the heads off. And I don't want to do all that. I'm not trying to tear this down to like a short block. So let a guy ponder. Let me figure what I ought to do here. because I mean, those are ready to go back in, but do I want to put them back together like this? You know what I mean? Like, is that how I want to conduct myself on this? Yes, absolutely. It's easier. We could just fix it. You know what I'm saying? We always have that option. But if we want to challenge ourselves and push ourselves a little, then I need to get those out. But I don't really know how without, you know, stripping this whole entire motor down, which I don't want to do if I don't have to. So, let me ponder. We'll be back. All right, we've got updates. As you can see, we replaced all of the bearings, all of them. Heck, we even did the cam bearings. So this bottom end's totally rebuilt. So what I'm gonna do next, since I've got all these torque to spec, I definitely use a torque wrench and definitely not a ratchet with the breaker bar until the, you know, elbow pops or whatever. I'm gonna get this new oil pump thrown together. Got it out there. We'll get that apart or get all those out of the boxes, get it thrown together, and then into the motor should go. Okay, we went with a milling oil pump because that's what everybody says and everybody likes. Everybody seems to love milling. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know nothing, but guys on the forums and whatnot are like, use milling. Milling delivered my firstborn. I don't know. People really like them, so we just thought, oh, wow, valve springs. Probably should have got a set of those, huh? There's the, what is this, a screen? Yeah. Oil pickup screen. And then we've got our shaft here, which does look a lot better than factory. I'll just pull him aside. Take the shaft out. No. Okay. Oh, I see where that goes now, though. I mean, looks a little bit better, right? I guess. Shoot, I don't know. We'll have to compare those two to make sure this is the exact right one. They look the same, so I assumed it was the same. Well, it's about the same. I don't know about like exact. You go there somehow, kinda, maybe. I don't know. But the bolt patterns and all that are just a skosh different. That may not matter though. I'm gonna pretend like it doesn't matter because everything else looks nearly identical. So we'll just put him there for reference. And I'll get assembling. Okay, so you go in something like this. Allegedly supposed to go in there too. But it doesn't, oh, just kidding. It does want to. Is that supposed to be able to just come out though? Not really sure how that's supposed to stay in there. Get a little lubricity on it. Okay, this will only hurt a little. Okay, hear me out. What if a guy just sets them up kind of like that? And then we grab our mallet. Try to get this in such a way that you can see exactly what I am massaging. Wow. Okay, I'm kind of getting it together now. I learned a trick. I just took this 5/8 wrench, just put him on there right on that rib, and I'm just whacking it. This is a lot of struggling between the last clip and right now, so. Get in there. Almost got him. It's tight. Which is probably a good thing, but my goodness gracious. Man, I'm about to just call that all right. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Okay, we've got that in there. Now I just gotta do the intermediate shaft or whatever it's called. I don't know if I need to, but I'm gonna take that set screw out because it's got grooves here, unless I just need to press it on real tight. I'm just looking in here, I don't see how that would work. So let me get an Allen key, we'll take this collar off and see if that's what here we are next day. I went through and it's still a little goopy, but I went ahead and tightened these up. They sat overnight. Got them all tightened up, and then decided to go through and get all the parts for the front clip picked up. Now, not all of it's in quite as good a shape as I thought initially. Here's the hood. You can see it's got some surface rust up there. Down here it's got a little cut in it. Said somebody was running a sawzall or a skill saw, cutting wood on top of it or something, and just buzzed right into it. We've got the fenders here. Factory 307 car, it turns out. I wasn't sure, but it was. So this 350 got dropped in at some point. The fenders both are a little chewed up. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. Chewed up there. Rear of the fenders. We've got a brand new dash pad. Here's the dash pad that we had with it originally. It's cracked up, you can see. We've got a brand new one here. And then we've got our grill. It's in really good shape. Gotta be real careful with that. I don't want to break it. Some taillight stuff. We've got our bumpers, front and rear. And they're in good shape as well. I don't know how well I can show you. I just went there and inspected some of it, but you can see, you know, they need a good polish and stuff, but I mean, they're nice and shiny. And then we've got the nose, whatever you call this, goes above the grill, you know. And then our core support here. Set this guy up over there. Core support, and it's got, I'll bump those bumpers. Got our headlights. Look at that. So we kind of got everything we need to bolt it all back up together. And I'm talking through with him. Might do some wheeling and dealing for the 350 combo here. Might. We'll see. I'm not even going to talk about it in case it in case it doesn't happen. But yeah, we've got all our parts for the front clip now. So once we get everything all dialed in with this guy, and then work on getting trans and all that stuff all bolted up. I went through, going through the parts yesterday. I went through and pulled a bunch of stuff out, and was looking through everything. I didn't even buy a flywheel, so we can't even technically bolt this up. Like I think the motor's ready to go, but we still can't even bolt it up anyways. I need to get a flywheel ordered, and then once it gets delivered, I can, do a lot more with this thing. But so for now, I don't know. I'm just letting that gasket keep tacking up and whatever. Might go ahead and flip this guy over so it's sitting upright. And then once that gasket's done setting up, by the way, the new gasket come in right after. There it is. So if we get any trouble with this, if we have any issues, we'll just pull that back off and use that gasket. Then, we'll be able to bolt that in, set it in the car, cut out the hole in the floor for the shifter. And, oh, also, I forgot to show you this stuff. There's mouse house in it, but all this trim and stuff, all of it. I think there's like rubber seals, the felt stuff for the windows. I mean, tons and tons of stuff, tons. All kinds of finishing type stuff. There's also, some different seals and stuff like the wheel tubs here. Those felt seals keep water out. I don't know, all kinds of stuff. But we're getting there. We got a lot more parts that we can work with now too to keep it going, keep the feet moving. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do right now. I'm kind of pressed for time. I got some other stuff going on today, but I wanted to go over and get all that front clip stuff and bring it out here. So I'll see you next time we are out here working on the car.